Okay. Hi all. Good morning. May I request those not speaking to please go on mute. Thank you. So, hi all. Good morning. So, this is the first class on ETL testing. Okay. Before I proceed, do you have any question, anyone? Either related to course or anything in general? Do you have any question? No? Okay. Uh, Before I proceed, I will suggest one thing that please make the session interactive. Okay. The more questions you will ask, the more topics, the more concepts I'll be delivering. Okay. Because sometimes what happens when we are delivering the session or giving the lectures, so sometimes some topics miss from our mind. Okay. So in those cases, that's why I suggest that please keep on asking question. Please make the session interactive. Okay. I have seen the sessions in which the interaction is good. We will find it more useful. Okay. That's what I will suggest you guys to please make the session interactive as ask a question. If it is not clear, you should stop me then and there. Don't wait that you have to go for the end of the batch and end of the course and then you have to ask question or end of the class, then you have to ask question. No, just stop me then and there. Keep on asking questions. So humble request, make the session interactive. Otherwise, I will also lose my interest. Okay. And that will become a formality session. Fine. Any question? Okay. Fine. Before I proceed further, can anyone share that why ETL? If you have an idea, I'm not asking the exact answer, whatever you know, just tell me why ETL, what is the need for an ETL project? Any idea?
Yes, Tanir.
Yeah,
So ETL is used for analyze the data.
analyze the data. Good. You want to analyze the data. Fine. Any other point? Why ETL? And one thing, sorry, and one thing, during the course, I'll be telling you some questions. Okay. That, okay, this is an interview question. This will be asked in the interviews. Okay. So what you have to do is after the class, go through the recordings. Okay. And then whenever you will see that I have mentioned this is the interview question, you please make a note of that, those questions, or make a note of that. Okay. Somewhere in your notebook. But during the course, during the session, I will request not to make a note of anything. Just concentrate on the lectures. Okay, after the class, I will share the recording assignments. So then you can make a note if you want. And believe me, I can tell you like 90% of the questions which you'll be getting in ETL testing perspective, that will be from the notes or whatever I will be teaching you. So please listen to the lecture very carefully. Okay, fine. Yeah. So why ETL? The first thing is you mentioned about the reports analysis. Then what else?
Secondly, I mean, for data cleaning perspective, just like, for example, in Power BI and Power Query also, we perform data cleaning, data management.
A lot of background noise coming. Okay. Oh, a lot of background noise. Okay. So the first thing is to analyze the data, right? Analyzing the data. Okay. Second point you told data cleaning, right? Okay, good. Any other point? Why we need ETL?
Transforming the data.
Yeah.
Transform the data. Very good. Transformation of data, transform the data. Okay. What else? Anything else?
Extraction of data.
Okay. You want to do extraction of data? Extraction of data. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, finally loading the data.
Finally loading the data. Okay, good. Anything else? Anyone?
Report preparation, reporting.
Reporting side. Okay, good. Fine, perfect, perfect. Anything else? Good, good going so far. Okay, fine, perfect. So far, so good. So before we start for ETL, okay, and this kind of questions are generally asked that, okay, why you need ETL? What is the need for ETL? Okay, fine, you'll be working in ETL project, either data engineering role or ETL testing role, any other role, okay, but why we need ETL project in a company? First of all, you should know that, okay, why we need ETL? That's the most important thing. So why we need ETL? There are two reasons. The first one is decision making activity. Second thing is to provide data to downstream applications. Sorry, excuse me. So if the question is why you need ETL, so there are basically two reasons. The first thing is for decision making or for reporting. Second thing is to provide data to downstream application. First of all, we'll discuss about this too. So if you're getting this question in interview, that first of all, tell me why we need ETL. What is the need for an ETL? Okay. The first thing is for decision making or reporting. Second thing is to provide data to downstream application. So first of all, let's discuss about this. What is decision making or reporting? Any business, okay, any business, whether it is e-commerce, travel, hospitality, management, IT, any other, okay, they have to understand their business on that, okay. Not to understand their business, they have to work on their data, that how it is performing, correct? Suppose I will take the same example which I used to take in most of my sessions. Suppose I have a restaurant. I have started a restaurant chain. I started my business with a 1 minute, yes. Okay, so I started my restaurant, and suppose it is in Delhi. Okay, listen very carefully. I started my restaurant in Delhi. It was doing good. Everything was perfect. I was making good profit. Okay. Then what next should I do? Think and tell me from business perspective. You see, this ETL course is mix of business use cases plus your technical understanding. Okay, you should know both. Okay, so I started restaurant in Delhi. It is working perfectly. I'm making good profit. So what should be the next step I should take? Share your thoughts, please.
Analyze the data to increase my profit.
Analyze the data to increase the profit. Okay, good. I will analyze it to increase the profit. That is perfect. Okay, what next?
Opening a new branch.
Very good. Very good. Perfect. I will see that, okay, I started in Delhi. My business is doing good. I'm making good profit. Okay, so anyone, he will try to expand it, right? You see, I started my training with SQL, then I expanded to ETL testing, then Python, then all these things we are going adding it. Similarly, any business, when they will start with one store, or if they have one location, they will keep on expanding it, right? So if I have started in Delhi and if it is making good profit, so I will then plan that, okay, and Delhi it is working perfectly. So let's start in some other location. Maybe I will start in Mumbai. Is that correct? It happens in with any normal business, right? They will start growing it. Perfect. Now tell me one thing. Before I will start with Mumbai, what question will be there in my mind?
So,
Think from business perspective. Yes.
Yeah, there might be a different type of data. Suppose if the customer is visiting, so there might be repetitive customer. What are the ratings they are giving? What are the comments? Right. So different dimension of data we also will have. So yeah. So
Hmm.
we can also analyze these top, and according to that we can work on the work on the things to improve. Right.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay, one. Okay, so I started in Delhi. It was working perfectly. Then next thing will be I'll be thinking that after Delhi, what next? Means which location? Shall I go for Mumbai or shall I take any other metropolitan cities like maybe Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, or Calcutta, right? Or should I start with tier 2 city, tier 3 cities, right? That is the next thought. So my question is how I will make that decision. Think and tell me. Or is
Uh,
it like I started in Delhi, it is working perfectly. So now let's start in Mumbai. Is it like that?
Um,
Hmm.
I think that we are going to first check about the demographic dividend.
Demographic, good, good,
We have to
good.
check, and secondly,
Demographic
we are going to analyze that if there is any competitor of that particular segment in which we are.
competitor. Okay, good.
So what they are serving to the customer,
Okay.
and
Then
thirdly, uh, since we don't have data when we are going to enter in the new city, so we are going to do some sort of market research and get that how many new customers are
good.
coming, and or what is the churning rate, means the, whether the old customer or retention rate, or you
Hmm.
can say.
Hmm.
So this we can check.
Anything else? The very simple one I'm looking. These all points are good.
We can
But
also see the labor cost, income, and
labor
the supply. Yeah, supply the
uh,
whatever the things we need. So
supply chain. Okay.
yes.
This is all a little bit advanced concept. This is fine. I agree. These all points are important one. But I'm talking very simple one. Basic thing which you will think first. Before you will start any business, what is the first thing you will think?
People
L-
interest in food. What are the food
l-
people most likely?
People, right? Correct, no?
Yes.
Or your customer, correct? Suppose my SQL course or this ETL course I'm teaching, right? Suppose if I will go to primary or secondary school and I will tell them that, okay, I am teaching ETL testing project, ETL testing course. How many of you are interested? Please enroll. Do you think I will get some student there? Do you think so? No.
No.
Why you guys are thinking this much? No. Secondary school student, they don't know what is ETL. Even they are not bothered about that because first of all, they have to complete their graduation. Then after that, they will come to this IT industry or wherever they will start working on that. Correct. So if I'm going to a primary or secondary school with the intention that I will teach them ETL testing, does that make sense? Are they my target customer, target audience? Do you think so?
No.
No. At the same time, if I'm going to a BTech college, final year student, I will tell them that, okay, I will teach you ETL testing, SQL course and all other courses, and you'll be ready for the job. Okay, you will be, if the campus placement will happen, you will be able to answer all these questions. Will that make more sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, right? So the first thing is your target audience. Correct or not? This is a very basic thing, right?
Right.
If I started in Delhi, and I have started a restaurant in Delhi, and suppose I'm selling here samosa and then other the famous, then you have rasmalai, chole bhature. So these are some of the famous items in the North Delhi. Then you have chole kulcha. Okay, you have paratha, all those things. Okay, so these are few of the famous items in Delhi. Those who are from Delhi, I think they can correlate. So these are the very famous breakfast, or even I can tell lunch items in Delhi. Okay, think very carefully. Okay, because nowadays interviewers, they will ask questions. They don't want the ready-made thing. They will ask you questions. They will check that do you have the experience or not. Earlier the same thing happens in SQL queries. They will ask the ready-made thing. Okay, tell me what is the difference between left join and right join. Now they will ask you that, okay, tell me with the help of an example what you implemented in your project. Okay, so that's why you should know everything practically how it is correlating. Okay. So Delhi, I started a restaurant. I'm selling all these items: samosa, rasmalai, chole bhature, chole kulcha, and paratha. Okay, and I thought that the same product, the same items, I will keep in another restaurant as well. So then, what should I think over here? Tell me. Yeah, tell me what are the points?
So actually, there are few, there are various things. So depend on the particular locations. So we need to, yeah, keep mind also these factors as well.
Yeah, right. So when I'm starting at a new location, so I will think that these all items will be sent there or not. Okay. So based on this samosa and rasmalai and all these items, which location do you think is the will be the best one?
Yeah, of North India.
Yeah, correct. North India, right? So
Yeah,
you have to
so
under.
it yeah, if we also specific
Hmm.
go very deep, so in North India, so it is like, so where the very much people are available, like market area, or like we can say near the samosa in market area, or near the if any organization or company located, so they in a particular time, so there might be break, so there will be more chances, right,
Hmm.
to, yes,
Right.
sell these type of products. Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. So the overall thing is you have to do a market research. You all agree, right? Because it is working perfectly in Delhi. So it is not necessary that if you're starting a restaurant in Bangalore, you will get the same response. Because these all items, these are famous in North India, but this is not famous in South India, right? If you go in South India, either Bangalore or Chennai, so the people they prefer dosa, idli, and all those things more. So that is what you have to do a research of the market. You have to analyze the market. You have to analyze your customer base, right? All those things, the demographic. So this is very important. So that is what your ETL comes into picture. Because to start any business or to grow it, you have to analyze the data. You have to understand your business. You have to understand your customers, the demography, and all those things. You see the point, these points like labor, supply chain, people, customer, target, supply chain, people, and all those things, this comes after that, right? First of all, we'll think that whether I will be getting the customer or not. You all agree? Okay. Then you will think that, okay, when you will finalize, then you will think that, okay, and this I have to check that I'll be getting enough labor or not. What are the taxes I have to pay and all those things, right? So overall, the story is you have to do research of the market. You have to do analysis. Now for analysis, so this is clear that you have to do the analysis. So now to do the analysis, what you want? Tell me. What are the ingredients for doing the analysis?
Data.
Data. Good. The data is the ingredient for doing the analysis. So we understood this, that okay, before I will shift to either Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, or any other location, one thing is sure that first of all I have to understand my target audience. Okay, their test, and obviously the demographic and all this stuff. Many other parameters are there. But to do research on all those things, to do the analysis, the first thing is data. You all agree or not?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you all
Yes.
agree?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Then what I have done, I have I hired few resources, okay, and I send them to Bangalore, then Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, okay, at each of these locations. I send them to Mumbai and then to Calcutta, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, okay. They went to all these places. They gathered the data about the customers and the test and the demography, many other things. Okay. They came to me, they submitted the data. What next? What next? After that, what you will do? Now you have the sufficient data from all these locations. What next you will do?
Analyze the data.
You will analyze the data. No. Before that, you have to do one more step.
Data cleaning and get the data in
Data
order.
cleaning. Good, good, good. I will discuss what is data cleaning. But perfect, you will do data cleaning then. Then
And transformation. Yeah.
transformation you will do. I will discuss what is transformation. I will tell you that. But you will do transformation as well, correct? Then generally these two activities you will do. Okay, because suppose I'm planning for Mumbai location. I've had a resource, suppose Rajesh. He went to Mumbai. He stayed there for 1 week. He has done. He has gathered a lot of data, maybe through polls, or he has taken feedback from each and every customer, or multiple other ways. Whatever is there, he has collected a lot of data. Next thing is, I have to start analyzing the data, right? But before analyzing this data, tell me one thing. Rajesh has given me data. I have to start analyzing. Before analyzing, tell me one thing. Should I trust on the data what Rajesh has shared with me? Why I'm telling? Because maybe by mistake Rajesh has sent me some duplicate data, right? That is also possible because by mistake he has written something different and something different was there, right? Maybe some of the records are not having correct value. Okay, some values are incorrect. By mistake he has to write 1000, he has written 10,000. That is also possible, correct? Maybe the data is not complete. What happened? Rajesh went to Mumbai. He has covered only South Mumbai. So can I trust the data of South Mumbai only? Tell me. Okay. Do you think? No.
No.
Rajesh should cover at least the entire Mumbai or at least 60 to 70% area of Mumbai. Right? I'm not telling that he has to take data from each and every person. That is not possible. And then the survey or the sampling doesn't happen in that way. But he has to distribute his data gathering activity among different section of people. Maybe he has to go to the elite people. Maybe he has to go to the slum areas as well. He has to go to the professional area. He has to go to the business area, right? Correct? No. Then only I can do some analysis and that will give me a correct picture. You all agree or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So here I am talking about the sources of data. You see, these all are the dots I am creating first of all. Then finally I will join all these dots. So Rajesh has to gather data through multiple sources and they must be heterogeneous. I mean, Rajesh went to Mumbai, he should not only cover South Mumbai, or he should not only cover the slum area, or he should not only cover the elite people, or he should not only cover the professional, he should not only cover the IT section. Okay, he has to gather data from multiple sources. Is that clear? And are you guys convinced or not? Right? So that is why the sources of data is very important for doing the analysis. You must be having data from multiple sources and heterogeneous sources. Then only you can understand. If you're planning that, no, I will open restaurant only in a posh area, then that's fine. No need to do the analysis on the slum area. I agree. Okay, I agree there. Because in that case, if you're taking the data of slum area and you know that they are not your target audience, that will not make sense and your analysis will not give the correct result. So from this, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm trying to stress on the importance of sources of data. The sources from which you want data must be clear to you. And when you are attending any ETL project, they will ask, or maybe like if I know a few of you are working in the ETL project, or those who are planning to switch into that, the first question will be, if you have started working in ETL project, what will be your first use case? So the first thing you have to check is, what all are my sources of data? And that is why, and here is the difference between ETL and ELT. I'm not sure how many of you have heard about ELT. Anyone who has heard about ELT? Just yes or no, I want. I'm not asking what is ELT. Have you heard anyone?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes.
fine. I think only one person from this group. Fine. This is the reason this ELT came into picture nowadays. Earlier, you were having only ETL, but now you have the concept of ELT as well. And this is because of the sources of data. I will tell you why ELT, what are the benefits, what are the challenges, why the organization slowly they are moving on ELT and all those things. But because of the sources of data, we have this ELT. We will discuss in detail down the line. Okay. So the first thing is you should be clear about the sources of data from where you are gathering the data. And those who are creating the data pipelines or the ETL pipelines, this is the starting point. Okay. Any questions so far before I proceed? Got it? So you must be clear with the sources of data. Okay. I repeat, if you are targeting the if you want your customer to be from those who have good paying capacity, okay, so then you have to do the analysis of the posh area only, or those who have good spending capability. You should not do the analysis in the slum area. If you are creating a product which you are targeting for the slum area people, then you have to do the analysis in the slum area and you should not go to the posh area. So you should be clear with the source of data from where you have to gather it. So that is why in ETL, E stands for extraction, and this extraction is nothing but extracting data from multiple sources. But before extracting data, you should know your sources. I remember I was working in a project, okay, and we have 16 sources of data. You're getting data from 16 sources, and few of the sources we are sending the same data. I will tell you the reason that why we know that the two sources are sending the same data. Still, we are getting data from two sources. You might be thinking that if you're getting data from two sources and they're the same, then that's a duplicate, and you'll have a duplicate number. So then we have a logic. They have a concept of deduplication. We'll discuss all these things down the line. Okay. So the first thing is the sources of data. Then on top of that, after this, what you will do? We'll start analyzing, or what else? What next after this?
Data cleaning.
Now the sources of data, you will ask Rajesh that Rajesh, from what all sources you have gathered the data. Okay. And if you are convinced with the sources from where Rajesh has gathered the data, that is well and good. If you are not convinced, then you will tell to Rajesh that Rajesh, you have to collect data from these all sources as well. And if you think that Rajesh has gathered data from a source which is not required, then you have to reject that source. So in any ETL project, when you are starting it from the scratch, the first discussion is all about the sources of data, that what all sources is required, because you should be very specific to the sources. You should not miss a source and you should not add a source which is not needed. Okay, fine. Now here the question is very common interview question. Okay, listen very carefully. Suppose in my ETL project, it is decided that the sources of data will be from 5 sources. Okay, in an ETL project, it is decided that we will be getting data from 5 sources. Okay, on a particular day, what happened? Out of 5 sources, only 4 sources have sent their transaction data. Listen to this scenario. In your ETL project, it was discussed that you'll be having 5 sources which will be sending the data. On a particular day, what happened? Because of some reason, only 4 sources have sent their data. Now you're working as an ETL engineer or ETL tester. What you will do? Whether you will load the data of these 4 sources or you will not load. Yes, over to you guys. What do you think? What you should do here? Yeah, any idea? Just I want to listen your thoughts. I'm not asking, tell me the exact answer. Whatever you think, tell me. It was discussed that you were getting data from 5 sources, but on a particular day, maybe a particular source they have not sent the data. So you have data of 4 sources only. So what you will do? You will load this data in your database, or you will not load. What you will do?
Don't know. It's
Okay, apply your common sense. What do you think? What should be the ideal?
practically means you are getting
Practically, yeah.
from 4 sources. Then if you are not getting, then you will try to load it because if you are not loading it, it will delay the process
Good,
and that.
good. Very good. Very good point. Delay the process. Okay, what next? Any other thought? Very good. Very good. Any other point? Okay.
There also might be the possibility we are also joining or do the some calculation using all the
Very good. Very
source
good. Very
files.
good.
Yeah.
Calculation. Dependency. Very good. Very good. Now see guys, this ETL is all about discussion and interaction, because I am repeating again. ETL means you should have good understanding of the business, and then technical knowledge. Both are important. So that's why you will see nowadays the organizations, they are training their resources on the domain as well. If you're working on finance domain, you will see they will train you on finance. They will teach you the basics of finance, because if you don't know the business, how the business is performing, you will not be going to add value from technical perspective. You will behave like a robot then. Okay, so you should know that what are the consequences. Okay, now coming to this case, it was discussed that you'll be having 5 sources of data. Okay, on a particular day, you have received data only from 4 sources. Okay, because of some reason, a particular source has not sent the data. We will discuss about those reasons as well. What are the possible reasons? Maybe that particular source is having holiday. Maybe that particular source has sent the data, but you have not received because maybe at your end there is some network issue. Okay, or maybe they have sent the data, but at their end it was not sent because maybe their connection was failed. It has happened in my project. I will tell you what happened. One of the source, they have not sent the data. Okay, and we were under the impression that we have received the data and we have run the job, data was loaded. But when we realized that this particular source has not sent the data, we dropped an email to them. They have done the analysis and they told that actually what happened, the channel through which they have sent the data, the password expired day before yesterday only, and they were not aware of it. So you know that even in your company's laptop, you will see when the password will expire, and if you have not reset it, it will not allow you to log in, right? Same thing happened. The password was expired, and they were not aware of it. So finally, they thought that they have pushed the file, but it was not sent across the channel, right? So there are multiple reasons why a particular source has not sent the data. But now the question is, if only 4 sources have sent their transaction data, then what should be your course of action, either as a data engineer or as an ETL tester? Now this has 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, you will load the data. Now this scenario is very dangerous. This scenario is considered as very, very, very dangerous. Why? In ETL world, there's a very common saying that incomplete data is more dangerous than no data. Because if you're loading incomplete data, it means you are showing incomplete or wrong information. Why? Understand this information. Suppose I have a restaurant in Delhi, I have a restaurant in Mumbai, I have a restaurant in Chennai, and suppose Bangalore as well. Okay. On a particular day in Delhi, total profit is 100. Mumbai total profit was 200. Chennai total profit was 300. And Bangalore total profit was, like, suppose 10 rupees only. Okay. Now, on a particular day, I received the data of Delhi, Mumbai, and Chennai only. Okay. So now tell me, what is my total profit? What is my total profit?
600 in that case.
600. If I'm loading this data on report, it will show that my total profit is 600, right? But what is the actual total profit?
610.
610. So on report, I'm showing only 600, but the actual total profit is 610, right? Now, suppose here, day before yesterday, in Bangalore, the profit was rupees 300, assume. Now, if I'm showing total profit is 600, and on that particular day, the profit of Bangalore has dropped from 300 to 10 only. So here I might be thinking that why the profit has suddenly decreased in Bangalore. But on a particular day, if I'm not getting this information of Bangalore profit, how I will come to know? I am missing it. So I'll be under the impression that total profit is 600, right? But the actual profit is 610. So that's why if you have incomplete data or insufficient data, it is better not to load it. Because if you're loading it, it means you are showing incorrect number. And then you cannot do the analysis. Is that clear?
Yes. Yes.
Any question here? So if you have 5 sources and you have received data only from 4 sources, it is better not to load it. And this is the responsibility of data engineer. The pipeline which you are creating, either using Python script, or generally nowadays people are using Python script to create pipelines, okay, or Unix shell scripting as well. Both go simultaneously. Okay, I'm not going to discuss about those things. Those are the different topics of discussion. Okay, so in that case, your pipeline should check that do you have received data from 5 sources. If you have received data only from 4 sources or 3 sources or 2 sources, your jobs which are required to run the data, to load the data, should not execute. It should fail. What are the jobs? We will discuss all these things. Okay, but is it clear, guys? This kind of questions you will face in interview. They will ask you this kind of question, that if you receive only data from 4 sources, what you will do, what are the negative consequences, what will happen, and all this stuff. So is this clear? Any question here? I'll pause here. Any question, anyone? So in this scenario, you should not load the data, and as an ETL tester, you should check it. The data must not be loaded and the job must fail. Okay, before that, I will give you a very high level idea of what are the jobs. You see, to load the data, we are writing some SQL script is there, then in that Python script is there, and then Unix script is there, and that is the main engine of any ETL project, and that is the main task of any data engineer. Okay, to write the code so that the data should be loaded and it should be transformed and all those stuff. Okay, so those scripts are nothing but jobs. You have to run it and then data will be loaded. How to run it and all those steps we will discuss when I will teach you about the control M application which is used to run the job. So we will discuss all these things down the line, but right now just understand that jobs are nothing but a script which is having certain lines of code which will help you to load the data from source system to a staging layer or from a staging layer to other successive layers. Okay, so if you have received data only from 4 sources, what should be the ideal course of action? It should load data or not? It should not load the data. Okay, now tell me one thing. These all things are not happening manually. It is not like on a daily basis you will come to office and you will click on the run button and the data will be loaded. No, these all things go through that CI/CD pipeline and this will be executed on a daily basis. Okay, suppose you have set this job to run at 2 a.m. night our time. We will discuss about that as well, that at what time you should schedule your job to run. Okay, and what are the reasons for that and all those things. Suppose on a particular day at 2 a.m. morning, you have set your job to run, that your job will run and the data will be loaded. Okay, and today is 7th August. No? Suppose take the example of today only, 7th August 2022. At 2 a.m. your job was supposed to run. Okay, and you were expecting data from 5 sources. Okay, but you have received data only from 4 sources. Okay, now tell me one thing. Till as per the discussion, this is clear that data should not be loaded, and I hope it is clear why I'm telling data should not be loaded, right? Okay, now tell me what should be the behavior of your job. It should pass or fail. Okay, what is pass and fail? I will tell you one thing, but first of all let me tell you, I have one point here. Where's that? See, this is an application which is known as Control M. So this is used to run the job. Very simple, not much complicated. We'll discuss about this in detail at a point of time. Okay, at very high level, I'm showing you this green one, which you can see now. This green, this green, this green. It means the job is run successfully and the data was loaded. But this particular job is failed. So it means this job was executed, but it was failed because of some reason. So the job is failed, data will not be loaded. Okay. Now my question is, for this particular scenario, what should happen? Job should run or it should fail? Job should pass or fail?
It should fail.
Like Tanvir, I personally face a scenario where I work in ETL operation. So we generally got the file as a data source file in CSV format or XML
Very good.
format. So what we generally do, we generally pass that file with the help of config. Like the config will be made in JSON. So sometime the format also sometime client share the zip format, like different format. So at that scenario we are unable to pass the config, because the config is made on a particular file format. Like initially we do the gap analysis, like how file nature is, like how tags are present in the JSON file. So according to that, the config is created. So like if we have 5 sources, so we have analyzed those 5 resources file format also, and according to that we make a config or whatever process if we got the file from 5 resources, then the file should go to particular location to fetch the data. So like if the job is start doing its process and they are unable to fetch the 5th resource, then the job get failed.
Good, good, good. But tell me one thing, Bhupender, right?
Yes.
So, Bhupender, tell me one thing. So, this activity, what you mentioned is totally correct. Okay. But my question is, are you doing this activity manually on a daily basis or you have scheduled it?
Right now we are doing manually, but our company have started doing
Okay.
our companies automate this process. Like, but right now we fire the query manually.
Because I think your project have started recently only, right? That is what I can think, not long back. Because ideally from any ETL project it is expected that there should be no manual intervention. I'm not commenting on your project. Maybe if it is there, there might be some reason, but
Yeah.
ideally all the tasks should be automated. Okay, we will discuss about all those things. Okay, but you are correct. The job should fail. Okay, now the question is why the job should fail. Okay, try to understand it. Suppose you are running your job at 2 a.m. in the night. We will discuss all those things, that why I'm telling why I want to run the job at 2 a.m. night. What is the reason? You can ask question that Tanvir, why late night you have scheduled the job to run. A lot of reasons are there. We will discuss all those things. And this is very important parameter for an ETL project, that at what time you want to load the data. Okay. At 2 a.m. I have scheduled my job. And what is job? Is that clear, guys? Anyone who does? Because I know we have students from non-technical background as well. Job is nothing but it is a file which will be having a lot of code either in Python, Unix, or generally Python and Unix are there, and SQL will also be there, obviously. So in that you are writing code. That code will be about how to load data from one database to another database, what all checks will be there, what all transformations will be there, and all this. You can imagine that is the main engine of any ETL project. Okay. What you have to do, you don't have to bother about that. The development team, they will give you that line of code. It will be like this only, something like this. It will be written. Okay, one line will be there. You have to copy it like this, and you have to go to that Unix platform or your command prompt and just paste it and click on enter. Okay, in a very layman term, I can tell you that is the when you will click on enter, the job will run and data will be loaded. That's all. Those who will be working in data engineering profile, they have to bother that what is present inside that script. Even if you are interested, if you want to understand how they have coded and all those things, you can open this particular file and you can look into that, what all steps they have mentioned. Okay, but that is not in my course. We'll not discuss about all those things. Okay, so that is the jobs. At a very high level, jobs are nothing but a piece of code which is used to load data. Very simple definition of job. Before I proceed, any question on job perspective? It is clear what is a job? Is it clear, guys? Any
Yes.
question?
Yes, Tanvir,
Clear?
clear.
I will request, please ask questions, make the session interactive, because if it is not clear, how I will come to know that it is clear or not. Okay, so you should ask question, guys. Okay. So I mentioned here what are jobs. Jobs are nothing but the scripts. Scripts means this can be in Python, this can be in Unix or SQL. Generally Python, Unix, and SQL. Okay, and all those things are there, which are used to load data after applying basic transformation logic. Okay, so inside that script, if you will open, you will see that a lot of steps will be there and all those steps will be there. They don't have to bother about that. But sorry, what is the use of these jobs? These jobs are used to load data. How to run the job? Job will be a single line of a script. It will be like this. You just copy it, go to a command prompt, a Unix platform. You just have to enter, click on enter, it will be executed. That's all. Very simple thing. Okay.
Tanvir, testers only need to run the jobs, or developer will run and inform us?
Very good. Very good question. Very good. I appreciate it. Okay. Now see, in any IT project, generally you have three environments. One is the set environment. Okay, before this, you have a market environment. Very good question, much appreciated. You have three environments. Okay, dev environment. The first environment is known as dev, that is full form is development environment. Second is SIT, system integration testing. Third one is known as UAT, user acceptance testing. Then fourth is for performance environment. And then you have last production environment. Generally, these are the environments. In certain projects, you have some other environments as well, like pre-prod and what all names are there, I forgot. But generally, these are the environments. Dev means development environment. What is this environment? I will explain you this. Okay. SIT means system integration testing. System integration testing. Okay. And then next is user acceptance. Sorry. User acceptance testing. Okay. And then this is performance. Prod means production. This is the final one. Okay. So first question is, those who are from non-technical background or fresher don't have any idea what is environment. Consider this environment as a playground. Okay. Playground or field. Okay. Consider this as a field. Okay. What are the environments? Consider this as a field. Suppose if there is a match, cricket match, okay, between India, Australia, or India, England, any other team. Before the final match, what the team will do? Can you tell me? They will practice, right? They will practice in their home ground or some other grounds, right? So assume that this production is the final playground where you have to deploy your code. Okay. Before production, all these things are like a playground. This dev means development environment. So in this environment, the development team, they will do the development. And this is the environment of development team. They can do whatever they want. They will deploy their code, they will run their code, they will do the unit testing, all the modifications they will do. Okay. So that environment is known as dev environment. Okay. They'll be having separate server, and all those things are there. Okay. Everything will be different for the dev environment. They will deploy their code. Once they have done with the coding, they have written everything. If they have finalized, they have done the unit testing, they're sure everything is fine. Then they will deploy the code from dev to SIT. Is that clear? They will deploy from dev to SIT. In SIT environment, it is known as system integration testing. Here the testers, they will start their testing activity. SIT is also known as the testers environment. They will do the testing here. They have all the freedom. They can test in whatever way they want. Okay, the development team, they should not object in the SIT environment. They don't have any right to object in the SIT environment because this is the environment of testers. Testers have all the right to test in whatever manner they want. They can test. Similarly, the SIT and the testing team, they should not disturb this dev environment because that is the environment of development team. So first of all, is this dev and SIT clear? Any question on this? Even if it is a silly question, you should ask. Otherwise, you will be in loss at the end of the day.
Clear from my side.
Okay. Any other question, anyone? No? Okay. Next is UAT, user acceptance testing. Anyone who has any idea of what is UAT environment and why we need this?
It is basically the means when you go into the final stage in production. So before production, the UAT testing has been performed. So basically, it's a blueprint that we are sending this to now live. So you can. So that is basically we check on the UAT part.
But why we need this? What is the reason?
So, so we can say it is the it is the testing in the perspective of user, right?
User means you are correct, user. But who is the user?
Clients.
Client. Very
Yes.
good. Or the business. Very good. Very good. Perfect. I remember long back, I think 4 or 5 years back, I was working for investment bank. And there we have a business analyst. He was very good from the functional perspective of the stock exchange and the share market, how it works. But he was not having enough knowledge about this environment, and he struggled a lot with these environments and the testing, the SQL and many other things, because he was not technical guy. So nowadays you will see that is why the companies, they are asking the business analysts, they should know the basics of IT as well. Okay. So what is UAT? UAT stands for user acceptance testing. And this is also known as business environment. Very common interview question. What is the difference between SIT and UAT? Because they both seems like testing environment, right? But then what is the difference? Try to understand it. In dev environment, the development team, they have done the coding. This is very clear cut. This is like the kitchen of your house or the kitchen of any restaurant. Okay. After that, you have sit environment. This is the tester environment. Once the chef or the cook, they have cooked the food, then like if you go for buffet or any other good restaurant, no, what will happen? They will be having some special team. They will test it. They will test each and every food, that how the test is. Okay. So that is like the testing environment. You are testing it. But now the question is, already in the sit you have tested it. Then again, why you have a new environment to test it again, right? Why you want to test the same thing again? That is the reason, because you have tested already in this environment, the SIT. But again, why you want to test it in a new environment? What is the reason? Any idea, anyone? Why the same thing I am testing again? Any idea?
See, means I am just saying on basis of my experience that
Hmm.
suppose SIT, where the tester tests all the scenarios and they have done,
Good.
the testing team had done. Now,
Hmm.
whenever you deploy the code in the UAT, so
Hmm.
there are maybe chances that when you deploy the code, means your regression and functional part, other parts will not get impacted.
Okay.
So there, if you are directly jumping from SIT to production, directly
Good.
injecting code, then there may be
Hmm.
chances that some dropout, some fallout. So in order
Why
to,
there are chances? The same thing, suppose if I'm moving from UAT to product, again there are chances that something would have break there.
So,
Right.
so here, as you mentioned, it is for business environment. So here,
Good. Good.
the client or stakeholder involved, right? However, in SIT,
Good.
they not involved. So,
Good.
their perspective. Yeah, they can also test. Right?
Good. Almost correct.
UAT.
Correct. See, the reason is a very common interview question, that why you have sit environment and UAT environment, although in both the environments you are doing testing. Okay, very common interview question. Try to understand it. See, suppose take the example of any building construction, or when you will see that any government building is under the construction. What happens? Try to understand from that perspective. Any government office, it is under construction. First of all, the laborers, the contractors, and the other technicians, they will be involved. They will construct the building, right? Everything they will do, the finishing part and the lightning part, the plumbing, electrical, and all those things they will do. Everything is done. Okay. Once this is done, then after this, what happened? The site engineers, okay, they will come and they will evaluate it. They will check from each and every perspective if it is correct or not. Right? You all agree? It happens. They will check it that everything is perfect or not. From environment perspective, they will think. From safety perspective, they will think, and all those things. And once they will provide the sign off, then what will happen after this? The lower ministers or some other, suppose if the prime minister has to come and inaugurate this building, what will happen? The chief minister of that state, he will come. Okay, and finally he will look at the building and all those things. Tell me one thing. Here in this step, your site engineer has evaluated, right? Now here in this step, I am telling that chief minister will come and he will evaluate it from his perspective. Tell me one thing, the way your site engineer will evaluate or test the building construction activity and all of the things, and the way our chief minister will evaluate, what is the difference? Can you think and tell me? Very simple question I'm asking.
You don't have any technical knowledge about this.
Very good, great answer. Site engineer will be looking at the very minute things as well. All right, but chief minister will see at a very high level. All right, at a very high level, he will see that high level finishing is there or not, how many floors are there, left is there or not, and all very high level, right? And if it looks good, he will give an acceptance. But site engineer will see at a very minute level, what is the safety of this, what will happen if earthquake will be there, if lightning is there, do you have any mechanism for the lightning activity and all these things, right? Exactly same thing happens in the IT industry in SIT and UAT environment. SIT environment is the environment of testers. Here they will do the exhaustive testing. Exhaustive testing means he will check from each and every perspective. He will check each and every nut and bolt and screw of the system. Okay, he will do white box testing, black box testing, what all testings he want, he will perform here. But yes, within the timeline. Okay. Now coming to UAT testing, what happens when the testers have done the SIT testing, and if they are convinced everything is fine, all the defects are closed, we will discuss about the defect life cycle and all these things. Okay. Once everything is fine, in the exhaustive testing, the testers, they will give the sign off. Testers sign off will be provided. Testers will give a sign off email, and you know, like all these things should never happen over call or chats, nothing. Everything should be on the email. Tester will give a sign off that yes, I have tested this application, this software in the SIT environment. This defects we have raised, this defects are closed. Okay. Then once the tester has given sign off, then that particular application or software will be moved to the UAT environment, so that the actual user or the business, okay, actual business users, okay, or your business stakeholders or data stew, okay, they will come into picture. Now they will test it as per their own understanding of the application. Okay, they will check at a very high level that okay, the system, the what they were looking for, is it fulfilling the requirement or not? Why? Because tester is looking from technical perspective, and business users will think from their functional perspective. Is that clear now? What is SIT and what is UAT, and why we need and SIT and UAT both? Any questions so far? Any question, anyone?
Clear from my side.
Is it clear, or anyone who wants me to repeat this? What's the difference between SIT and UAT? So SIT is the tester environment. They will do the exhaustive testing. They will test each and everything, like each and every pipeline they have to check, each and every loop they have to check. But in UAT, at a very high level, the business user will come into picture and they will test your application. Any question on this? Is the difference clear? SIT and UAT, very common interview questions.
Clear, Chandru.
Clear, good. Now moving to the next one, performance. This is known as performance environment. I think this is very simple, but still I want you guys to reply, to think and tell me. You see, I am not asking, tell me the exact answer. I just want to understand your perception, so that you should think why the perf environment is needed, the performance environment. What is the need of this, especially these days?
Response time of the application.
Response time of the application, right? This will give you the response time. Why you want to check the response time? What is the requirement for this?
To work fast.
To check the efficiency, like regular efficiency, to maintain them.
Okay. So performance, why performance is needed? Because nowadays you all know that performance is very important. Suppose you are opening an app, okay, and that is taking 20 seconds of time to open. You will feel irritated, right? You are searching anything. 1 minute, guys, some background noise. Okay. So what I'm telling here is the performance is about the response time, efficiency, latency, throughput, load, and many other things are there. Why performance is important, especially nowadays? Because see, if you're opening an app, I told you the example of app. If you're opening an app and it is taking 20 seconds of time, what you will think about the performance of the app? It's too poor, right? Similarly, you are trying to extract a report, you are trying to generate a report, and that report is taking 2 to 3 minutes of time. So that's not good, right? So that is why whenever you are developing an application, so you have to think about that performance as well, that how it is behaving, how is the performance of it, right? So that is why for any application you have to test the performance of it, how it is behaving under load. Okay, so is it clear? Perfect environment at the last, what is needed? Any question on this, guys? Hello, any questions? Anyone?
No, no, Tanvir, clear.
Okay. So now for performance testing, there is separate team. There are separate testers. And they should means they have to like JMeter, then load runner. These are the common tools which you should use for the performance testing. Okay. So this is all about the environment. Different environment we have: dev, sit, UAT, perf, and prod environment. Okay, which we use for the testing and development team. Okay. So any questions so far? Anyone?
I think good from my side.
Okay, fine, perfect. So now, 1 minute. Apart from this, one more thing is there. Okay, this is all about this environment. I told you the sources. Okay, fine. So overall, any questions so far before I proceed further on this? Is the environment clear to everyone? Why we need dev, why we need sit, UAT, pop, and prod, and your final environment is the prod or the production environment. Fine. So this is how you have to move your code from one platform to another platform. Any question, anyone? No questions? Okay. So today today we have studied about the sources. What are the different sources? Not the different sources I have discussed. Still, we have to discuss about that. What are the different sources? But why the sources are important, and what will happen if you're not getting data from one particular source, and all those things. Okay. So next is coming to the next thing here. So this is what, any idea what this is showing?
I think this is dashboard.
Something like dashboard or report, right?
Reporting, yeah.
Correct. Okay, good. There's something like dashboard or report. 1 minute. Let me maximize this. Okay. This is something like that. Dashboard. This is something like dashboard or report. Okay. Who needs this?
Business,
Business users. Why they need this?
in order to take decisions.
Good. In order to take decision, so that from this report they can understand how their business is performing, where it is lagging, where there is an area of improvement, right? So then they can take the decision accordingly. I remember when I was working for an investment bank long back. So what happened, they have close to multiple funds. They used to create funds and all those things. Okay. So when they started analyzing the funds, they realized that close to 20 to 25 funds, they're not making any profit. And As a result, they were just paying fees to the portfolio manager or the fund manager. When they have done this analysis, then further they stop that fund. So that is why regularly you should analyze your business. You should know where it is working perfectly or where it is not working. If any particular section of the department of your business is not working, so you should take a steps. Either you should work on improving it or you should stop it, right? Many times you will hear the news that okay, this particular business, they have stopped their production here and then all those things. I think recently you must have heard about Chevrolet, right? I think they stopped the production in India, if I'm not correct, right? Similarly, I think about Ford as well. Correct? Okay. And any other example, guys, do you have apart from this? Then you can see Amazon. I think 3, 4, 5 years, I'm not sure exactly, they started their business in India and they're growing. So how? Because they're doing the analysis, they thought that okay, they will be having good market in India, they started their business in India. But before that, you can imagine how much analysis, how much research they would have done. Okay, so this is a report and these are the numbers which is used for the business stakeholders to make decisions. But my question is, how these numbers are getting displayed here? What are the backend for this? Yes, tell me.
I think that the part of ETL only data is coming.
ETL. ETL is the main engine which is providing this data, and then your Power BI developer or OBI developer or Tableau developer or any other visualization expert or the tool, or it is known as business intelligence. That is why the name is BI, business intelligence. You are providing intelligence to your business users through this visualization tool or through this dashboard or the charts, so that they can understand the business in a better way, so that they can slice and dice data. But what is the ingredient for this report? Your ETL, the data what your ETL is provide. If the data, suppose the sources which I told you that 5 sources, and if you have received only 4 sources data, and suppose when you have loaded that data, do you think the numbers which is coming on this report will be correct? Do you think?
No.
No, it will not be correct. Then tell me what will be the negative consequence of this?
We miss the proper tracking and it will impact on our business.
Right, it will impact your business because maybe you're not getting the correct information here, right? The information shown here are incorrect, right? You'll not be having the correct information. So that is why, you should be showing good numbers here. Okay, that is very important, and that is why your ETL pipelines should be correct. Because if the ETL pipelines are not correct, you're not loading data properly, the numbers, this is the final product, this is the fruit. Okay, this is the fruit of any ETL project, that reports. If the reports are good, it means the ETL pipeline is good. You have spent a lot of time creating your ETL pipelines, a lot of things, a lot of efforts, you have written very good code, clean code and all those things, but the numbers is not coming correctly, that is of no use. Okay, so that is why I told you yesterday that your business analyst, data scientist, recommendation engine, machine learning, deep learning, and all those things, they works on top of ETL. And for ETL, this is the task of your data engineers. Okay, same thing I'm showing you here. This is again some report. I'm not discussing about this report, but what all numbers you are looking here, this pie chart or this graph, the histograms and this tiles and all those things, these numbers are coming from the ETL or the database. Okay, so these numbers will be correct only when your ETL pipelines are correct, and that will happen only when you understand your ETL perfectly, each and everything. You should know that under which scenario what you have to do. And this is typical ETL project architecture diagram. This is how your ETL works. You have different sources. Your sources can be database, legacy system. We'll discuss about it. This is your data loader. Now tell me, this data loader is equivalent to a topic, a term which I told you. What is that? Can you think and tell me? Today I have discussed about the term
Job.
data load. Job, good. So your jobs are also known as data loader. Here you can see it is plus, minus, and all those things. So this is nothing but the calculations, the transformations what you will apply. This is the main engine. So your job will pick data from all the multiple sources, whatever you have. Then it will apply the logic, the transformation, and all those things. It will cook it, and then finally it will load into the particular layer. Now, what is known as raw data, I will discuss all these things. Okay. And then once again the data will pass through multiple layers, and then finally you will show that on the report. You'll be having insight, and the artificial intelligence will work on top of that. Your machine learning will work on top of that. Data visualization will work on top of that. So that is why data engineers, the ETL testers, the ETL engineers, they are in huge demand, because if this part is not correct, if this section is not correct, this will not give the correct output or correct result. Okay. Why ETL? Okay, this I will discuss in the next class in detail. Just very high level I taught you today that why we need ETL. Okay, and very means in a layman term, I have tried to explain about sources of data, why sources of data is important. Okay, so I will stop here, and do you have any question first of all? Then I'll proceed further.
Like Tanvir, we understood the ETL, but what is difference between ETL and ELT? Like
that will come. We'll discuss here. I intentionally am not teaching that now because maybe you guys will get confused. I have certain sequence. Okay, so I have to go into that sequence. So I will teach you about ELT as well. That what is ELT, why we need ELT, and why suddenly I think in the last 2 to 3 years only you'll be hearing about ELT, right? So what is the need, what is the benefit, what is the limitation, or what is the drawback, what are the problem with ELT? We'll discuss all those things. Okay, so today just I have given you a glimpse of ETL, that what is ETL, why we need ETL. That is what I have tried to explain. Okay.
yes.
Actually, what happens is, suppose if I jump from one topic to another topic, we will miss the sequence, and that becomes very difficult for me as well to explain. So I plan to go by the sequence, but yes, if you have certain project requirement, if you're getting a struck, or if you have an interview, you can connect with me after class. We'll discuss it. Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Any other question, guys? Anyone?
So Tanvir, you mentioned that there are multiple environments, right? Dev, SIT,
Correct.
UAT. So
Correct,
generally,
correct.
how many days do teams get to, transfer data from Dev to SIT and all that?
But again, this is a topic which will take good amount of time to discuss, but quickly I will tell you. Okay. Actually, what happens now we are working in agile methodology. Okay. I remember like when I started my career in 2011, nobody knows what is agile. We all used to work on waterfall model and all those things. Okay, what is waterfall? We'll discuss all these things. Okay, but at a very high level, I'll tell you. Earlier days, what happened now? You'll be having a discussion with your business user or the business stakeholders. They will tell you that I want this kind of data, I want this kind of report, and all those things. Everything will be documented, and you will get a sign off from the business stakeholders that okay, it has been discussed that we will create this kind of report. You will start working on it. You will take some time, maybe like 4 weeks, or sometimes 2 months, sometimes 6 months, like that depends on the project complexity. You will start working on it. But what will happen after 2 to 3 weeks or 1 week? Your business stakeholder will again call you, or they will drop you an email that again we want to change in the requirement. Okay, we will do some changes. Again they will call, I want the changes. But during those days, what happens now? The changes, the software engineers, they will not accommodate changes very frequently. They will tell that no, our requirement is freeze, we will not change it frequently, right? Same thing like suppose you went to a restaurant, okay, and you will tell that okay, now I want them. I think I was disconnected.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
Tanvir.
sorry,
Your
I was
voice is
speaking.
breaking. Yeah.
I was speaking to myself. Oh. Okay, where I was? Can anyone tell me?
So depending on the project complexity around that.
Project complexity. Yeah. So that is what it depends on the project complexity. So earlier, what happens when there is a it went like this, that when you're starting a project, Okay. Actually, this is a very long discussion. Waterfall method, then I have to tell you agile methodology. But generally, to answer your question very quickly, nowadays we are working on agile methodology. And generally, in any agile methodology, you have 3-week sprint. What is a sprint? Why it is 3 week? We'll discuss all these things. Okay. Generally, you have 3-week sprint. Okay. And in this 3-week sprint, generally 2 weeks, maximum 2 weeks is given to development team. Maximum at max. Okay. But development team, it is not like after 2 weeks they will complete it, then the code will be given to sit tester, they will start working on that, because then you will be left with only 1 week. What happens nowadays, the development team, they will start coding in chunks. Okay, they will complete one application, one requirement, they will hand it over to the sit team, they will start working on that. Okay, so overall within 2 weeks, the development team, maximum I'm telling you 2 weeks, they have to complete the coding part at max. Because suppose after 2 weeks you are giving, then the testers have only 1 week left. Within 1 week he has to test, and if there is any defect, he will assign to the development team, then again they will fix, again that will come to the sit team for testing perspective. So that is why maximum 1.5 to 2 weeks are given to the development team, and then sit testing testers will come into picture for testing. Have I answered your question?
Yes, Tanvir, thank you.
But again, this all depends on the project complexity and many other parameters are there. Okay, any other question, guys? Anyone?
Tanvir, who will run the jobs? Like developer will also run sometimes.
Yeah, that is what you started your question, and I went to environment, then I went somewhere else. Okay, good. In dev environment, if you have to load data, that is the responsibility of development team. In sit environment, if you have to load the data, that is the responsibility of testers team. Ideally, I'm telling you. But many times what will happen, if you want to load data in sit, background noise is coming. Okay. Many times when you have to load data in sit, the development team, they will load data. They will not allow testers to load the data, but this is not a good practice. I will tell you why this happens. When you are loading data, no, actually there are many tables in a project where you have to load data. And there are sequence how the data has to be loaded. First you have to run this job, then you have to run this job, and all those things. And the development team, they know all these things, the sequence how they have to load the data. And many times the testers, they don't know, but this should not happen. The testers, they should know how to run the job, how to load the data. Okay, so ideally I'm talking testers should load data in sit environment, testers should load data in UAT environment as well, and developer will load data in dev environment. Now coming to the production environment, any idea who loads the data in production environment? Any idea, guys? Any idea?
Developer?
No.
No, the data. Okay.
Guess it. Can you guess this, team? Support team. Anyone from support team here?
Yes, I am.
Can you correlate this?
Yeah, like after when the we have the practices, like we have hospital data which comes like after when the pipeline has been planned,
Perfect.
all the condition has been come to end, like the practices come into the maintenance. So regular extraction, regular transfer and load has been happened. So we do such things with the help of shell scripting and all.
Correct. Very good. Perfect. So development team will load data in the dev environment. They will hand it over to the tester to test in state environment. Everything is fine in UAT perf. Then you will deploy the code in production. So in production, development team, they cannot do anything. They don't have even the access. This is very strange. They cannot do anything. You can ask question that why development team don't have access in production. We'll discuss in the next class. Okay. Even the testers, they don't have access in the production. Production is the area of supporting only. When the code will be migrated to the production environment, the development team, they will give a KT to the support team. They will tell them that what all things they have done, what was the requirement, how they have coded. They will show each and every code as well. Now support team is that now here's the responsibility of support team to run job, to load data. If the job will fail, they will analyze why the job has failed. and if anything goes wrong, they have to do all these things here in the production environment. But if there is a valid defect issue, then support team, they will tell to the development team that the coding what you have done here is not correct, please modify it. But production environment is the environment of the support team, they will manage it.
Yeah, Tanvir, support team will have access of development and testing all this.
No, 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 no. It is not like a master. No, support team will have access only for production. They don't have access to development
Yeah,
and all
we
those things. No.
generally like analyze the data if we found any bug or any discrepancy. So we generally raise ticket to like development team regarding the same issue and escalate
Correct.
that issue. Yeah,
Correct. You are
avoid
correct.
then
That happens. Yeah. You're correct. Yeah. Ideally, that should be the process. You are correct. If anything goes wrong, you are correct. You will raise a ticket and then you will escalate or send that to development team that this is not working correctly. Then development team again, they will fix the issue in the dev environment. They will again move to the set. Again, the same thing. Testers will test. Then again, it will send to the production environment. That is the process. The support team is the owner of production environment. They cannot do anything in the dev environment. You can ask question that why support team doesn't have access to the development environment. We'll discuss in the next class in detail about that. Okay, then similarly, why development team they don't have access to the production environment. We'll discuss about this in the next class. Okay. Any other question? Anyone? No? Okay. Any quick feedback, anyone from the session so that I can work on that? Maybe the speed is fast, the content, presentation, anything, anyone? Any area where I have to work on? Any volunteer, please, so that I can understand if any modification is needed, I'll work on it.
I think it was good. It could be much better if it's more on engagement side. Means today also there is engagement in the session.
Okay, more engagement, fine. In what terms can you tell me, like more engagement?
No, means just like you had discussed today, the business scenarios means from practical perspective
Okay.
engagement. I mean,
Okay.
today also is good. We can
Fine,
spend,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Any other feedback? Okay, fine then. I will stop here. We will meet now next week, Saturday, same time, 10 o'clock. Okay, I will give you assignment questions based on this, and I will share the recording as well. So thank you guys. Take care. Bye.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
man.
Thank
Bye.
you.